If you're looking for an easy paint party idea, try out this tree. First, you're going to need a canvas of any size, and then you are going to need acrylic paint. We are going to be using for this a couple colors in our background, and I recommend you can do either like a dark and a light. So for example, I'm going to use black to make my purple really dark, like it's kind of like a moody nighttime scene, but you can use any, I would say 3 colors of your choice. So you could do pink and white, you could do red, pink, and white. Just make sure that your colors are similar. Remember, primary colors when mixed together will create brown. So just do a limited palette and you can create your background using brushes, you can use paint scrapers, you can use sponges, and just think of a couple colors that blend together, focusing on either the dark version with black or the light version with white. So if you think it's too purple or whatever base color you're using, add more of the opposite color, and if it gets too dark, you can overlap that. If you're adding black and white together, remember that does make gray, so it's probably best if you are doing a simple paint party to stick to just a darker version or just a lighter version. And I'm taking my black here and I'm taking the same brush. This is a wet and wet technique, blending it to where I'm happy with it. You can play around with a variety of different textures. While that dries, we're gonna make this super easy and you can cut out stencils. So all I did is Google silhouette Christmas trees and then printed them out on cardstock. You can always freehand them. It just depends on you and your participants how complicated you want things to go. And you can also cut the reverse of the stencil, tape it down, and paint inside. I'm going to trace around my edges, but you could do this the same way, just with the inverse. So you would trace inside or paint inside if you cut out the shape. Then you're going to use green if you're doing a tree, and my background is mostly dry. It takes about 20 minutes, and I'm painting on top of my stencil. I'm not a stain the lines type of person, so you can see that mine's a little bit messy and chaotic. And then wet on wet, I'm gonna take white and put a layer on top of that. This serves 2 purposes. One, it brightens up my artwork, especially because I'm using that dark background, and it creates a really nice textured look. You can see my coworker on the left, this is the tree she made. It's much more structured, it's much more thoughtful. She does things much cleaner and much more careful, so your personality style can really shine, and your participants, depending on how they apply their layers. If you want it to look more snowy or you want it to be lighter, do a second coat of white. And if you want it to be darker or be more dominant green, you can do a second coat there. And again, this is all wet on wet, nothing is dry. You could absolutely let it dry and then paint a second coat. And sometimes it takes more than one layer to get it to the right color, because acrylic paint on top of acrylic paint, sometimes depending on the color, it needs a second coat, but white does a really great job of making it opaque and making it pop against your background, especially if you're doing a paint party with a time crunch, right? So if you're trying to get this done in an hour and a half, 2 hours is plenty of time. That gives you a little bit of wiggle room. Once you're happy with the shape, color, and texture of your tree, I'm going to add paint splatters before my tree even dries. I felt like my background could have had a little bit more detail, which you can do in the first step, but a little bit of paint splatter can look like snow or stars, and it's just a really fun way to create a cohesive work of art. I felt like my tree was kind of floating in space, so I'm just adding a little bit of white down at the bottom to anchor it. You could also make the tree go all the way down to the bottom. That would be helpful too. You could add Christmas ornaments. You could add a star to the top. It's totally up to you and your participants. We had so much fun at our paint party. This is a great subject matter for it, and having a really delicious popcorn bar didn't hurt either. If you love learning about art, here are some more tutorials, and don't forget to subscribe for all things art education.